let's talk about that. You've cheated more in the last year or have high days than you did previously years, and you've been in better shape this year. When you put on muscle, it will come off as soon as you put it on if you don't allow the body to adapt to that muscle. And again,
that's by tuna.
You can slice and dice on the power bodybuilding.
That is something new I'm doing, but I'm actually seeing that, and I'm seeing the benefits of that, which is interesting because I don't think I ever dieted down with the 9-week.
I think it's the hardest. It is the hardest thing to do because power bodybuilding is the ultimate strength. Where Strength Gains is an incredible program. I love for strength gain and stuff.
Favorite programs.
Power bodybuilding is purely the strength portion of it, and then as you diet down, obviously you feel weaker and depleted. But it's the hardest plan, which I love.
Yeah, but that works on the mindset so much. Sorry, that works on the mindset so much. This week, I did have to work on. You get a lot of beating from these guys, but mentally it's good. I like that. 24/7, I'm thinking about, hey, next workout I'm gonna hit it. Mindset, turn it up, tune it up, tune it up. You tune up your mindset.
This is true.
On it.
What were you gonna say, Jeremy?
I was just gonna say, I've done the 9-week program before, but I haven't done it with front squats, so that's kind of a big change for me.
That's a great question. So the question here is, how do you determine when an off season is? When should you be in an off season? I would say this. What it comes down to is everybody is a competitor at something. I don't care if it's a class reunion, a wedding, the summer's coming. You can pick something where you go, hey, you know what? At this point, I want to be in good shape. The only person I'd say doesn't have a contest would be Heath Evans, but I just don't think he can get in shape. Now, with that being said, so even if it comes down to where Clark Bartram is always in shape, but I will say to Clark, hey, we're going to get ready for something. So I have somebody to go, let's rival, let's get in a competition with each other and see who gets leaner. So I would always pick that moment and then backtrack from that moment. So January 1st, 2022 is your contest date, let's say, hypothetically. I always get ready and in shape for New Year's. I know everybody else is like, no, I want to get ready for summer. I always want to get stupid for New Year's Day. Yeah. And so I always pick that day to get in shape. And so for you, maybe pick something with a friend, pick a date that you want to be in shape, and then backtrack it out. And then you would take a portion of where your off season is always 2 to 3 times longer than your contest prep. And so let me say contest today is class reunion, a wedding, a gathering, a photo shoot, a family photo shoot, whatever it is. I did that as a kid. Did you ever do that as a kid, family photos?
I mean, at JCPenney.
You go to Sears and JCPenney?
Yeah. Or anything.
Yeah. I think photo shoot's good.
People don't do that anymore, do they?
The little wallet my mom would be like, your mom busts out the Rolodex of photos of all the kids.
I think people should
bring that back.
People should do photo shoot like they're getting on stage, even if they don't want to compete, because it's gonna. You have a goal. You have the set date. You pay the money. You're not gonna lose it. You're gonna get in shape for it.
I also believe that you should do photos just to remember those times.
Yeah,
period of times.
Yeah.
And I know social media has pulled us so far away from doing an actual family shoot. But I recommend doing that. But
more glamour shots.
I remember glamour shots. I remember glamour shots. So try to think about 6 to 9 months for your off season. And what you want to be able to do is best you can is during that 9 months, the ultimate goal here is not technically to get as much how would you say, as much muscle as possible, but think about it, getting your metabolism to utilize as much food as you possibly can and still stay in shape. That's the ultimate goal. I know this is kind of confusing to them. A better way to say this is, I train 5 to 6 days a week, and I diet most of the year. That's not what I want for you guys. What I'd like you guys to be is more like how Mona or Jeremy kind of enjoy these abs that he has, but he also has cheated. Let's talk about that. You've cheated more in the last year, or have high days, than you did previously years, and you've been in better shape this year.
So that question where he was talking about how how to pick sort of, I wish in hindsight I would have just spent 2 years not worrying about being ready for the pool in Vegas or whatever. I wish I would have spent just the first couple years of getting access to you just working on some size and thickness, because I never lived in it long enough, so every time I dieted down it wasn't mine. I'd lose it.
Yep.
And I think this last year with COVID.
Let me explain that to them. When you put on muscle, it will come off as soon as you put it on, if you don't allow the body to adapt to that muscle.
Yeah, and I was always just like, oh, I gotta look good for this or that or whatever, and not really fully understanding how to keep it. COVID comes around, now we can't do anything. Thank goodness I have a barbell in the garage. But, did the blitz and did all those things, and I made more progress this past year because it was a year. It was a year without messing with, kind of dieting down all the time and stuff like that. But yeah, the high meals every Sunday and whatnot. It took me a while to like break out. I remember the first time you're like, what'd you eat? And I'm like, oh, I had like some rice and whatever. And you're like, dude, are you kidding me? You're like a dead man walking. What's wrong with you? And then the next week I was like, well, maybe I'll have a little bit of, I was like so scared
To do it.
And then finally it was like, holy crap, I'm going nuts. And I'm so full. Like I have this roundness and fullness that I just never had before.
Definitely. And Jeremy on the workouts has been strong, impressive, and he looks full when he's lifting. And I'm just like, wow. And haven't seen you for 2 years.
He could have popped the top today.
Yes, he could have.
Seriously,
No joking. Yeah,
He could have popped the top today, and it would have looked better than Cole and the other guys.
Yes, yes, Colton. Yes.
And
Sorry,
well, the point is, he's not even close to being contest prep. We're still taking your calories. We're still enjoying this stuff. You're still doing, and so the point there for all of you out there is, off season is a beautiful time to be kind to yourself, which Jeremy was just explaining. He was more kind to himself and celebrating on your Sundays, and which sets you up to win mentally for the week.
Yep.
Because you have that. That's a huge part that nobody thinks about.
And he gets to enjoy all the cheat days and rub it into us.
And rub it into us.
That's what you get.
When I go, so just real fast on the cheat days, and maybe I am being a little bit crazy about it. The night before, I'm online. I'm planning out everything I'm going to eat. I'm not just like running to the cabinet and grabbing shit and eating it. Like,
So you're not doing it like me. Okay, gotcha.
You did a full cheat day or a cheat meal?
I'm doing a day.
A day.
And I really do plan it out.
Mike does like you.
I know exactly what I'm going to start my day with. I know exactly like my 3 English muffins and what they have in it. I could probably be looser with it if I really wanted to, but it isn't just like a food free-for-all.
He's still getting protein in. He's still getting his healthy fats and carbs, but he's getting a high calorie that spikes the metabolism, even more so from the week, that sets him up from how he's dieting for the week. And so I would like, oh yeah? No. Not yet. You relax. Mo's just telling us that she would like us to eat, which I understand that.
Yes.
So Bobo is in the off season right now, and we're going to keep him there for a good year or so to continue, because he has such an incredible density and thickness, muscularity wise, that we're just going to keep doing that for him right now, like Jeff is doing. You guys all know Jeff. Jeff is going to be a 2-year off season.
Jeff, when I first met him, 180, 240 now, amazing. Just seeing him, the changes. And
60 pounds over lockdown of quality
Bobo's a
and
beast.
strength.
Bobo's a beast. I really want to see what you do with him. Get him up on there, put quality muscle on, and then trim it down for stage. It's like, wow, that's just going to be incredible.
It'll be interesting to see him sliced down, because we're going to get him lighter than he's been since he was probably 15 years old. So
I know.
So when it comes to it and we start that, you'll be able to see that process. But I think,
I'll be
again,
51 next month.
with everybody here that's in the community, is ask them questions. Ask the other person questions on how they're getting through their training, or what program they're on, how they're dieting, and what happens when you do feel like cheating. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is for some reason everybody forgets the terminology of discipline.
one thing I forgot is like, I was on the off-season diet for a long time, and then you put me on the cut diet. I forgot the thing. It mentally plays with you. Because some other days you're going to look at yourself and go, oh, shoot, I look so bad, But it's just the body adjusting to everything. And it's the long term where you have to stick to the plan. So I remember all that stuff, coming into it.
Which his traps are popping out right now just because
Traps and chest
he's the only guy that can train just shoulders and his traps pop out of his neck. All right, so let me see. I love that question though about off season.
I know a lot of people that use food to cope. I talk to people all the time. But I also, when I talk about their gym routine, it's almost never religious either. So it's like, I would always argue, it's like, yeah, food to cope, but I think you just need to also work on finding other things to occupy your time,
Yeah, that's it. I'm a foodie and I'm a food coping person. So I would love to go to food to cope. And I would say, but I think that's where the working out has saved me, and that's where also the having a high day or a spike the metabolism day has saved me. And then at the same sense, I'm beyond disciplined, or
You're the most disciplined person I ever seen with food.
Yeah.
so. I'll pull it back and understand that I can't self-sabotage myself. I could do that when I'm 20, but not in my 50s, because there's not much coming back from that.
I remember you saying about the food, like anytime you see something food or dessert, you don't take a bite because one bite's not enough. You want to have more. So it's a mental mindset.
So
just
you
don't have
just
it,
said,
cut it out.
and I agree with it. One bite is too much, or it goes to cookies.
Yeah.
One cookie is too much, where 1,000 cookies is not enough, and that's my mentality. I know that if I have one, I'm done.
Bye-bye.
I usually buy the little 6-pack usually.
I would hate you. I would never go shopping with you.
But
I would
that I
kick
get
your
home
ass
and
out of
there's
the
no
house.
more. I can't eat a whole bag if there's only the little 6-pack.
There's a stash around here somewhere.
So just so you guys understand, we're not so disciplined that we don't want food. We do want food. We want food as bad as the next person. But there comes a point where we have to just kind of go, there's the discipline and the ultimate goal on what we're working towards. And we will celebrate the food day on the certain day that we have set up in the program. And we'll do that over in the Titan Crew. We'll set you guys up. I'll be in Texas in 2 weeks in Dallas for the Europa. Me and Phil Heath will be there the whole weekend training and giving lectures.